Deep in Black Hollow Forest, a cabin sits, picturesque and inviting. Its log walls and stone chimney promise warmth, and the porch beckons with rocking chairs. People come seeking peace, starry skies, and escape from city life. But the charm is a mask. The rental listing glows with praise, but every guest flees before dawn. Shoes, cars, and belongings are abandoned in frantic midnight escapes. The sheriff is used to panicked calls from the payphone miles away. The story is always the same. A peaceful evening shattered by terror around 3 in the morning. Something happens in that cabin, something that drives people out into the cold, dark woods. The secret is woven into the very walls and whispered by the wind through the pines. Guests come for solitude but find a suffocating silence that turns deadly. The cabin isn't a retreat, it's a trap. As midnight passes, the trap begins to close. No one stays until sunrise. The peace is a lie, and the darkness is waiting. The cabin's true nature is revealed only to those who dare to sleep inside. Every review is written by someone who ran. The cycle repeats, night after night. The cabin in Black Hollow is not a sanctuary. It's a place you only survive by leaving before dawn. Locals call it the 3 a.m. cabin, a landmark of fear, not a vacation spot. Stories are whispered in the general store and tavern, warnings passed down for generations. The land is said to be tainted, cursed by events long ago. Some blame a vanished builder, others an ancient curse, but every tale ends with a warning: stay away, especially at night. Outsiders dismiss the stories, but locals know better. The cabin's reputation is infamous, its darkness a wound that won't heal. The fear is primal, a suffocating dread that seeps from the walls. The whispers in the hollow aren't just the wind, they're echoes of a past that refuses to die. The cabin is a reminder that some places are best left alone. The darkness is real, and it waits for the next guest. The warnings are not just stories, they're survival guides. In Black Hollow, the past is never truly buried. Online reviews for the Black Hollow cabin start with praise but end in panic. Guests describe waking at 3 a.m. paralyzed, unable to scream or move. They sense a presence, a tall, shadowy figure standing in the corner watching. The terror breaks their paralysis, sending them fleeing into the night. One couple set up a camera, hoping for proof. The footage cuts to static at 2:58 a.m., then returns to an empty room and an open door. The couple was already gone. These stories repeat: college students, families, writers, all driven out by the same fear. The accounts are eerily consistent, spanning years and backgrounds. A peaceful evening always gives way to unspeakable fear before dawn. The presence is malevolent, settling over the cabin in the hour before sunrise. Guests speak of a desperate need to escape, as if their lives depend on it. The shadowy figure is always there, silent and unmoving. The terror is universal, the outcome always the same. No one stays until morning. The cabin's darkness is relentless. The reviews are warnings, not exaggerations. The cycle of fear is unbroken. The cabin's secret is not just a story, it's a recurring nightmare. Every guest becomes part of the legend. The terror at 3 a.m. is real. The haunting leaves digital evidence: recordings, corrupted files, and chilling audio. A sound engineer's equipment captured a guttural whisper, "Get," followed by a pained sigh. A teenager's live stream showed orbs of light and heavy footsteps, though he was asleep. A baby monitor recorded a lullaby, then a harsh whisper, "Mine." Parents fled, leaving the monitor behind, still broadcasting eerie silence. These digital traces are impartial witnesses, cold, unexplainable, and consistent. Cameras malfunction, files corrupt, and technology fails in the cabin's presence. The digital ghosts are perhaps the most convincing evidence of all. The cabin's energy disrupts more than peace, it warps reality itself. The recordings capture what the eye cannot see. The evidence is undeniable, chilling, and modern. The haunting adapts, leaving its mark on every device. The digital wind carries warnings for those who listen. The cabin's darkness is not just legend, it's encoded in every corrupted file. The proof is there, waiting to be believed. The land's darkness predates the cabin. Indigenous tribes called Black Hollow cursed, a place where spirits crossed over. A grieving shaman's curse declared no one would find peace there. Silas Croft, the first settler, built a cabin and vanished without a trace. His disappearance became legend, a warning ignored at great peril. The cabin stood empty, then burned mysteriously in the 1920s. Only the stone foundation remained, a scar on the land. Decades passed before anyone dared build again. The new cabin rose on the same cursed stones, unaware of the sorrow beneath. Every attempt to settle ended in abandonment and fear. The curse endured, growing stronger with each tragedy. The land's sorrow seeped into every log and stone. The foundation is not just physical, it's a prison for grief and darkness. Black Hollow's curse is alive, waiting for the next chapter. The current cabin stands on the ashes of the old, built by a hopeful couple in the 1970s. They ignored the warnings, but soon the wife saw a tall, sad man in the woods and suffered terrifying nightmares. The couple fled, abandoning everything. The cabin became a magnet for those seeking secrecy. In the mid-70s, a cult called the Children of the New Dawn claimed the cabin. They believed the land held spiritual power, not a curse. Rituals and secret meetings filled the cabin with new darkness. The cult sought to awaken what slept in Black Hollow. Their presence layered new evil atop the old sorrow. The cabin's history grew more twisted with every ritual. The cult was not afraid, they wanted to open the door. The foundation became a crossroads for tragedy and dark intent. The cabin's haunting deepened, fed by every secret and every fear. The darkness was no longer dormant, it was summoned. Led by the luminary, the Children of the New Dawn believed Black Hollow was a gateway to higher consciousness. Their rituals aimed to weaken the veil between worlds, drawing power from the land's darkness. Bonfires and chanting filled the woods, unsettling the locals. Then, in 1978, the cult vanished overnight. The cabin was left in chaos. Belongings scattered, symbols painted, a dark stain on the floor. No trace of the cult was ever found. Some say they opened a gateway and were consumed, others believe they simply disappeared. Their presence fed the cabin's haunting, amplifying its malevolence. The sorrow of the land was twisted by their rituals. The haunting became layered, complex, and more dangerous. The cult's legacy is a darkness that refuses to fade. After the cult vanished, the cabin stood empty for 40 years. Locals avoided it and nature reclaimed the structure. The silence was not healing, it was the darkness lying in wait. In the 2010s, a distant relative inherited the property and saw only a business opportunity. The cabin was cleaned, furnished, and listed online. Locals who worked on it felt watched but finished quickly. The listing promised tranquility, omitting the dark history. The first guests arrived, eager for a peaceful retreat, but at 3 a.m, the silence broke. The darkness awoke, and the cycle of terror began again. The cabin's curse was never lifted, only dormant. Every new guest became part of the legend. The past was never buried, only waiting. The terror returned as relentless as ever. Paranormal investigators flocked to the cabin seeking proof. None lasted the night, but their findings were chillingly consistent. Equipment malfunctioned, batteries died, and cameras shut off. When devices worked, they captured EVPs, whispers, cries, and chilling voices. Thermal cameras revealed a cold, human-shaped mass in the bedroom corner. The temperature would drop dramatically before the most intense activity. Investigators agreed, this was no ordinary haunting. The energy was layered, twisted by tragedy and ritual. The original sorrow was corrupted by the cult's darkness. The verdict: the cabin is dangerously haunted and no one is safe after dark. The cabin still stands, its online listing a trap for the unwary. Guests arrive, charmed by the setting, and flee in terror before dawn. The cycle continues, each guest another warning. The cabin absorbs every sorrow, every fear, replaying them for new victims. It is not haunted by a single ghost, but by layers of tragedy and darkness. The warnings are everywhere, in whispers, reviews, and corrupted files. The cabin lures you in, then reveals its true nature at your most vulnerable. Some doors are best left unopened, some places are best left to their silence. The cabin is not waiting for a guest, it's waiting for its next victim. Midnight is the threshold, and the darkness always rises. The warning is carved in wood and stone, some secrets refuse to stay buried. In Black Hollow, the past is always waiting.